Welcome to the Wager Detective Report for breakdown analysis and prediction for this game.
Hello and good day, folks. This is August 27th, 2026. We're going to get into this cap between the Braves and the Dodgers. This was a fun breakdown. Let's get into it. The Dodgers 80-53 on the year, well ahead of San Diego. They're going to win that division. They're going to make the playoffs. And you look at their home and away, just as good on the road as they are at home. We look at them versus the NL East. They're 14-9 on the year, and they are 23-19 against left-handed pitching, which they will see today in Chris Sale. So I think the thing that stands out is the balancedness between their home and away splits. They're just as good as away as they are at home. They're good against the East, and they're good against left-handed pitching. Like I said, like they'll see in Sale. When we look at this team, they're led by Freddie Freeman in batting average, and then Ohtani leads the team in home runs and RBIs. But look at this team: Pages, Freeman, Ohtani, Tucker, Muncy, Betts, Hernandez, Dalton rushing. Who would have thought? Look at the year this kid's having behind the plate. Fantastic hitter. And Will Smith is one of my favorite catchers in all of baseball. But rushing, man, he jumped upon the scene when Will Smith went out, and he's been a fantastic surprise for this team. They're well balanced. They're the World Series champs. They're great. And they're going to make a run in this playoffs. And they got the pitching to back it up. When we look at them in their last 9, looking pretty solid. I mean, they're 6-3. But they're looking at being swept by the Braves here. You know, they swept the Rockies and they swept the Pirates, but that's not the Braves. So they came back to reality when they came into this series. They had a, good last 9, 6-3, but the opponents I would look at there. 6-3 in their last 9 plus 9 run differential. They're scoring 5.2 runs a game to 4.2 against. They are batting .253 over their last 9 games with a .257 average with runners in scoring position. And we look at their last 3 games, they're batting .301 batting average with a .278 average with runners in scoring position. So looking good over their last 9. I would pump the brakes. Like I said, you played the Pirates, you played Colorado, 6 of those 9 games, and then the Braves brought them back down to earth here, and they're trying to avoid the sweep here against this talented Braves team. So we're going to see how this plays out. When we look at the Dodgers on the road, 40-27, scoring 5.6 runs a game. They're getting 9.5 hits per game, 1.3 home runs per game, batting .271 on the road this year, .351 on base percentage, .441 slug, and a .791 OPS. You look at that slash line, and it just jumps out at you. You can see why they're one of the better teams in baseball. Great average, 35% on 35% they're getting on base, and they're just looking. And look at the OPS, 791 with a 441 slug. Forget about it. When we look at them since July, they're 24-23. They're scoring 4.26 runs a game, 8 hits a game, a little more than a home run a game. Since July, batting .246. .314 on base percentage and a .707 OPS. So those numbers since July are a lot more modest than what they're doing on the road this year. A lot of those numbers have slowed up. They're only 1 game above 500 since July. So, this team is not infallible. When we look at them versus left-handed pitching, they're batting .253, 33% on-base percentage, 423 slug, and a 749 OPS. They've seen a lot less left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching, but in the smaller sample size, you look at that. Great slug, great OPS, looking good. They're going to see Chris Sale today, though. And this guy is a veteran, Cy Young, a candidate, 37 years old, lefty, 12-9 record this year with a 2.20 ERA, 166 strikeouts with a 1.03 WHIP. The guy's fantastic, man. He is the leader on this team in wins and strikeouts. He's the ace. When we look at his 2026 season, again, 12-9. He does in 23 starts. He's got a 1.03 WHIP, 2.20 ERA. He's given about 7.4 hits a game with 11 strikeouts per 9. He's not walking anybody. Home runs are minuscule. He's only given up 8 home runs on the whole year. You're not hitting home runs against this guy. Great arm angle. It's hard for lefties to pick him up. And look at those numbers. They're just fantastic, man. You can see why he's a Cy Young candidate. At home this year, he's 7-3 in 11 starts, 65 1/3, 1.65 ERA, giving up 7 hits a game, less than 2 walks per 9, striking out 10 batters per 9, and teams are only batting .215 against him at home this year. Those are solid numbers, man. It's going to be, what's going to give, it's this Dodgers lineup that's playing good. We look at Chris Sale, his last 5 starts, team record 2-3. They're only giving them 2.4 runs per game to 2.08 against. They're not hitting for him in his last 5 starts. Last 5, he's got 30 innings pitched, 2.70 ERA, 7.5 hits a game he's given up. No home runs given up over his last 5, striking out nearly 13 batters. The wins came against the Mets and the Padres. The losses came against the Yankees, Diamondbacks, and Brewers. And the Braves have lost Sale's last 3 starts, so that's a concern. But you look at his numbers, if they could just give him a little bit more runs. On 5 days rest this year, he's 7-5. This is where they give him more run support. 4.83 runs a game to 1.92 against. Fantastic. Opponents have scored 2 runs or fewer in 9 of his 12 games in this split. He's got a 1.88 ERA on 5 days rest. He's only given up 1.5 walks per 9 and striking out 11 batters per 9 on 5 days rest. This is where he shines. This is where the Braves give him a little bit more run support, and they don't score on him when he's on 5 days rest. So great numbers over a good sample size of 71 and 2/3, and a good record, 7-5. You give him a little bit more runs, you're going to be a lot better. When we look at this Dodgers team, they are 80-53 on the year. And look at their home and away. They're roughly the same. They're just as good on the road as they are at home. I mean, it's almost identical, whereas the Braves are clearly a better home team than they are a road team. And the Dodgers, I think the Dodgers playing a little less competitive. I wouldn't say that. I think playing in just as a competitive environment. When we look at the, I forgot to mention, Atlanta is 100 plus 112 run differential. The Dodgers, I didn't put that up here, but they're one of the better teams in baseball. When you look at them, and look at the Braves, they've won 3 in a row. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and they're plus 112, clearly ahead in the division as far as plus minus. When we look at them versus the West, they're 14-13. The Dodgers are better against the East, as you see there. They're 14-9 against the East, and then against right-handed pitching, they're 48-34, very solid. And the Dodgers, like we said, they're 23-19 against left-handed pitching. So Braves good plus-minus run differential. Maybe not as good as the Dodgers, but they're good. And look at this team. Michael Harris Jr. leading the team in batting average, and then you got Olsen leading the team in home runs and RBIs. Look at this team. Deepest team, in my opinion, in baseball is depth and goodness. Olsen, Albies, Harris, Riley, Dubon, Baldwin, Acuna Jr., Yastrzemski. In my opinion, the best lineup in baseball, top to bottom, as far as depth, good hitters they got in there. They're just fantastic, man. This team, in my opinion, I would jump on them to win the World Series this year. I like them. Now, when we look at them in their last 9, they are 4-5. They had problems against Minnesota that swept them. They beat the White Sox, and then they beat Milwaukee in that asterisk game, which was a neutral site game. And now they've won 2 in a row against the Dodgers. And this isn't a look-ahead spot for them. They're going to have Colorado, San Francisco, and Washington on deck. So this is clearly a spot where it's not a look-ahead game, and they're looking good. They're winning 3 in a row here and looking solid, like the Braves team that we thought. So in their last 9, they're 4-5, minus 5 run differential. They're only scoring 2.78 runs a game to 3.3 against. They're batting .252 over their last 9 games, but batting .324 over their last 3 games, with a .278 average with runners in scoring position over their last 3 games. So over their last 9 compared to their last 3, they're heating up, and they're doing it against teams that matter the most. Okay, so 4-5 record, you give them, they can get that run per game average up by another run, 2 runs. They're going to be wiping teams out, especially with a guy like Sale on the mound. Now at home this year, they're 44-23, scoring 5 runs a game, 8.6 hits per game, 1.4 home runs a game. They're batting .259 at home this year with a .322 on-base percentage. And look at the slug and the OPS. .437 slug, .760 OPS. This team is playing absolutely fantastic at home this year with those numbers. And .260 batting average, scoring 5 runs a game. Guys, I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. Since July, playing much better than the Dodgers. They're 29-21, 4.6 runs per game. 8 hits a game, a little more than 8 hits a game, 1.34 home runs per 9, batting .249 since July, .312 on base percentage, and the OPS still solid, 733. So a little bit more or less modest than their home numbers, but still solid since July. And again, 8 games over 500 since July, where the Dodgers are only 1 game above 500 since July. So this team, again, one of the best lineups of baseball, in my opinion, the best. And when we look at, they're going to see Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 28-year-old. 12-7 record this year with a 2.61 ERA. He's got 145 strikeouts, and look at the whip. 0.90 puts him at second best. He doesn't create traffic. He's got some strikeout capability, good ERA, and 12-7 record. So he's winning, and this kid's pretty good, man. 28-year-old. And we look at him on the year, 12-7 in 23 starts, 151 2/3. He's got a 2.61 ERA. The whip is excellent. He's only given up 6 hits per 9 and less than a home run. And he's striking out 8.6 batters per 9. But look at the batting average against. 187 batting average against Yamamoto this year. You can see why the over-under is 6.5 in this game. So great numbers, great ERA, and over a large sample size. Only giving up 6 hits per 9 is absolutely fantastic. On the road this year, Yamamoto, 7-2, 10 starts, 68 innings pitched. He's got a 1.99 ERA, giving up less than 6 hits per game and less than 2 walks per 9. And he's got a 183 batting average on the road this year. So between his year-long numbers and his road splits, he's looking fantastic, man. I mean, this game is going to be just one of those ones where if you like pitching, you are going to love watching this game, man. We look at Yamamoto in his last 5 starts. The Dodgers are 4-1. They're scoring 3.2 runs a game to 2.4 against. In his last 5 starts, 32 innings pitched with a 1.97 ERA, less than 6 hits per 9. The walks kind of elevate here to 2.81. He's striking out 9 batters per 9. In his last 5 starts, the wins came against the Pirates, Brewers, Diamondbacks, and the Mets. The loss came against the Red Sox. And the Dodgers have won Yamamoto's last 3 starts. So stark contrast from what we'll see from Sale in his last 3 starts when we get to that. But 4-1 record for the Dodgers over his last 5. He's got a great ERA, strikeouts per 9 solid, wins coming against pretty good teams. On 5 days rest this year, Yamamoto 6-2. The Dodgers are. They're scoring 3.88 runs a game to 2.13 against. Opponents have scored 2 runs or less in 5 of these 8 games. Yamamoto's games on 5 days rest, 51 innings pitched. He's got a 1.94 ERA, giving up 6 hits a game, and he's striking out 7 batters per 9. Home runs are non-existent. The walks, manageable, 2.47 per 9. So when we look at that, he's not walking guys. They're winning. They're plus 14. And when we look at this, Dodgers-Braves last 9 comparison, Dodgers 6-3, Braves 4-5. Dodgers plus 9, Braves are -5. When we look at the batting average, it's almost identical. When we look at the runs per game, Dodgers clearly scoring more, 5.22 runs per game, whereas the Braves are only scoring 2.78 over their last 9. We look at the batting average. The Braves could be heating up here, 324 over their last 9 and 278. Both these teams hitting 278 runners in scoring position in their last 9 games. But, you know, the runs per game is the thing that stands out here where they're scoring 5.22. But again, that was against the Rockies and the Pirates for 6 of those games. Not the type of pitching you're going to see tonight. So I don't know if that's going to necessarily matter. But clearly the Dodgers in this split, you got to give them the edge there. Now, if we look at the home and away splits, Braves are a little bit better there. Dodgers and Braves runs per game, pretty much identical. Hits per game, Dodgers have a little bit more. When we look at batting average, Dodgers got the edge there. On base percentage, Dodgers. Slug, Dodgers. Just small. And then OPS, Dodgers on the road this year got the edge there. So the Braves got the edge in the wins. Runs are pretty much identical. Hits per game, slightly to the Dodgers, and then home runs per game slightly to the Braves, batting average to the Dodgers, and again, OPS, slug, and on-base percentage to the Dodgers that way, but the Braves, again, better record. When we look at the Yamamoto's away and home splits to Sale, Yamamoto 7-2 on the road, Sale 7-3 at home. When we look at the ERA, Sale's got the better ERA, 1.65. And when we look at hits per nine, Sale's giving up a little bit more. Walks per nine are almost identical, and these guys are just not giving up home runs. Don't expect the ball to go over the fence tonight. But very, very similar, same sample size roughly as far as innings pitched. But Sale at home, 7-3, very good. And he's got a good ERA, 1.65. So it's a mixed bag there. It's like splitting hairs. And when we look at this over their last, in this split as well, Sale's got the better strikeouts, but batting average against Yamamoto. So quick read there. Both splits are excellent. Sale has the lower ERA and a much higher K per nine. Yamamoto has allowed fewer hits per nine and a lower opponent average on the road. But they're both good. I mean, they're just, as far as numbers, that's what it is. The last 5 starts for these guys, Yamamoto 4-1, Sale 2-3. And when we look at it, runs per game, they're giving Yamamoto a little bit more run support than what they're giving Sale in his last 5 starts. Run plus minus run differential almost the same. Yamamoto has the better ERA over the last 5 starts. He's given up less hits over the last 5 starts, but the walks are clearly in favor of Sale, who's given up a lot less. And then Sale's got more of the strikeout capability with 13 compared to 9 for Yamamoto. So last 5 starts, clearly Yamamoto. And if they could just give Sale some runs, it'll be good for him. Now, better Yamamoto, last 5 starts, better results as far as ERA and hit suppression. Sale, more dominant with the strikeouts and walk profile. Again, 13 strikeouts per 9, giving up less than 1 walk per 9 over his last 5 starts. So, like splitting hairs there with these guys. We look at these guys on 5 days rest. Yamamoto 6-2, Sale 7-5. Now, when we look at the runs per game average in this split, they do give Sale a little bit more run support, and teams aren't scoring as much compared to what Yamamoto, they're scoring for Yamamoto and what he's given up. Now, when we look at the ERA on 5 days rest, Sale has the edge there. Yamamoto's given up a little less hits, but when we look at the strikeouts, guys, Sale's clearly in control there with 11 strikeouts to 7 for Yamamoto. And we look at the walks per 9, Sale's giving up less there as well. So better run support for Sale on 5 days rest, better plus minus run differential, plus 35 compared to plus 14 for the Dodgers and Yamamoto. When we get to the bullpens, the Braves got the 6th best bullpen in baseball. Dodgers are top 10, they're number 9, but Edwin Diaz is on the injured list, so that takes out one of their main closers there. And when we look at this, the Dodgers yesterday, Stewart had 14 pitches, Phillips had 14, Scott had 17, Henriquez had 15. They had 60 pitches out of the bullpen. You're probably not going to see Scott or Phillips. Stewart is possible. You're likely to see Dreyer, Hart, and Vesia out of the pen first for the Dodgers. I've been pretty spot on in this part of the report about who you're going to see out of the pen. So Dreyer, Hart, or Vesia. When we look at the Braves, Fuentes had 36 pitches yesterday. Medeiros had 20. Lee had 11, and Dodd had 9. Iglesias is good to go. He hasn't pitched since Tuesday, and Suter hasn't pitched since Saturday. So as far as the bullpen, I think the Braves are in a better position. They got the better bullpen overall, and they got more capabilities if this game comes down close with their 2 top guys right there ready to go. The Braves did have 76 pitches out of the pen yesterday to the Dodgers 60, but I do believe the Braves are in a better position as far as ERA. When we look at these lineups side by side, this is the expected lineup, and if it is, you're putting Freeman and Ohtani in your top 3, which you have to anyway. They're 2 of your best guys in your lineup, but they're going to be seeing Sale, who is just nasty. And when we put this lineup side by side, guys, you've got Michael Harris Jr. that's leading the team in batting average, batting 5th. It's just no breathing room here, guys. If I'm looking at this game, I don't necessarily like the price, but I got to lean the Braves in this game for the sweep. And it's not because Yamamoto's not good. It's just because some of the splits that we looked at there are leaning in favor of the Braves. The Braves are heating up. And the Braves, more importantly, have the better bullpen if it gets late compared to what the Dodgers have. So my call here is the Braves money line. As far as an over-under, it'd be hard to say to take the over here. I would lean under here. This could be a 3-1 game, 3-2, 4-2, 4-1, 4-2, 3-2 type game. I don't like calling it under on a 6.5, but I would lean that way. But, I just believe over the last 9, the Dodgers haven't seen necessarily the greatest competition, and I just like some of the splits in favor of Sale over Yamamoto. So that's going to be my call here. Braves money line for the sweep, and then also slight lean to the under here. This is Wager Detective. Thank you for tuning in. Share this video, like it, subscribe to Wager Detective on YouTube, and remember this, guys. Wager Detective loves all his fans, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's go Braves, and let's go under.
Be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.